Hey guys, it's Carolyn. Thank you for stopping by for my stitching update. As a side note, happy Halloween. I am trying to get this done before I have trick-or-treaters. So hopefully this goes well. We'll see. It's a really warm day for Halloween. Not the warmest. There was one time when my oldest was in elementary school. No, kindergarten. About kindergarten age. It was like 80 after dark for Halloween. That year was the worst because her costume was heavy enough. She was sweating, the poor thing. It's not that bad. It's supposed to be like in the upper 60s during trick-or-treating time. I don't know, maybe it'll make for a great block party. Also, given that it's a Thursday, I dislike Halloween when it falls on like that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but Thursday through Sunday, my neighborhood likes to treat it like a big block party. So hopefully everybody's out tonight. That would be really nice. Fall has been going for me. I'm not gonna say going well or going poorly. It's going. And at least on the plus side, I have been getting some stitching done, although to be fair, recently I've really had to double down on getting the stockings done. So with that, let's just go ahead and jump into the whips. First up, I'm going to show those stockings. So dimensions, Reindeer and Hedgehog. Here's where it was last time. And here's my progress. I finished the Reindeer. I haven't done any of the back stitching yet. For this one, I just, particularly because the back stitching along here, they're very, very long. It's like down to over 9. It's the sort of thing where you can't really break it up well and make them shorter stitches. So because of that, I don't want them to get distorted over time. So I'm kind of leaving out, and this one is not very extensive in back stitching. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it for the end, but Reindeer's done. All of this is done minus the name because kids haven't figured out which one they're doing yet. This is the beginning of the present that is behind the Hedgehog. So it's going places. This is really cute. For the longest while, I was really struggling to see the stocking shape because this one doesn't have nearly as much of the stitching coming up to the edge, and this, like, there's nothing through here. It's all supposed to be white snow, so it's the background Ada. But then filling this in, I was like, oh, I can see the stocking, and this is gonna be so cute. And I don't know, I feel bad that I have to really buckle down. This is like the only thing I've stitched on this week because I'm trying to get it done so I can do the third one and get the third one done by Thanksgiving. Stressing a little bit. It's okay. I'm gonna say this one's great, so yay. Next up with my stockings for Christmas for this year is this Dimensions kit, Snow Bears. Here's where it was last time. Check out how cute this has turned out. This part down here kind of took forever. It was boarding. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal, but the only thing I had to kind of count off of the edges, but is it not just absolutely precious? This one is definitely one of those where you're like, oh, the birds looked great, and then I did the back stitch and the cardinals just pop, and I was like, this is why having gotten here, so there is more, there's the name and it's Phil. That really won't take all that long. None of these names should take all that long. Fingers crossed. Well, again, going back to a little bit of stressing, trying not to, because this is really cute. I love how it came out. So this is the soft finish I've been trying to get done. Finally get it done like September 30th. I think it was the very end of September. No, it was later than that. It might have been first week of October. You can tell it's been a while. And I was at one point being really good and meticulous about writing down what I was stitching on every day. That lasted for about a week. And I'm actually just kind of like winging this today. Some days I have like really great notes on this is the thing I've worked on, at least tell you like percentages, or not today. Today is not that. Today is I'm sitting in front of a camera and sharing apparently the tons of stuff I'd been working on that I just had forgotten I'd been working on. So there's that. Yeah, but this one, so precious. We'll go back on record and say I do not enjoy doing the half stitch, the 4/1. I mean, I know why it happened. It provides differentiation between the background white and the bare white while getting to use the exact same floss. I can see just I'm very, I don't want to say careful about my tension. I have lots of times where I mess it up, but I can see the difference depending on where I started on the rows, and it's something that drives me crazy. I mean, I think that's why I struggle a little bit actually with needlepoint, because I see the same thing when I do like needlepoint, but it was really obvious here. And it's funny, I'm the only person in the house who seems to notice or care. So I'm kind of hoping we'll see how this does once I throw it into like a cold water bath to clean it up. So maybe it'll be less me and just more about it's fine. It is kind of a reminder though, I struggle with perfectionistic tendencies, and I have to remember, let it go. I'm not gonna be perfect. The only way to have gotten, I think, a better tension is if I'd done all this in like a basket weave stitch, and I didn't want to. I mean, I might have had enough floss for it, I'm not entirely certain, but it wasn't something I wanted to do it to make it was mostly, I didn't want the back with the basket weave would have been thicker than the rest of it, so I was actually trying to maintain the integrity of the back. So, but yeah, it looks great. I am so happy that at least this one is not something, this one isn't causing me stress. It's the others, but this one I'm happy with now. Next up is Modern Folk Embroideries, the Fruit of Plenty, and I did not put a lot of stitches in this. And that's okay. The key reason I'm telling you that up front is I think that I am going to have this one hibernate for the rest of this year, which makes me a little sad because I do want to work on it, but I want to work on so many things. And like I said, I think I'm going to put this one aside until January. So here's where I was last time. And here's where I am, right down to the needle still stuck in the fabric because I apparently didn't even realize I was putting it down. I put this down like 3 weeks ago. So I got no excuses. Like I should have at least finished this length, but I didn't. Anyway, so still working in this negative space here. It's coming along, it looks great. It's just, I have not had the 30-minute block that I had all of last year. So it's just not getting done like I thought it would. I really thought I would have gotten further this season with it, and here I am. I mean, and the fact I'm still in the July card, that's fine. I don't care that I'm in July. I don't care that I'm not gonna even get this done this year. I think I talked about it in the summer that it just wasn't fitting into my stitching schedule. But the key thing is, I work on this normally when my husband's driving to work. We talk every morning on the phone as he's driving. His commute is 35 minutes plus or minus, but you know, it's pretty reasonable. But it's gotten much more erratic with how, so I get maybe twice a week on it. And because of the stockings, I've been preferencing the time that I'm on the phone with him, I'm working on the stockings, so hence this one just not getting there. And I think when I decided that I'm gonna put it down until January, there is actually that sense of relief, like I don't have to kick myself for not getting this finished this year, even though in the back of my mind it's something I wanted to finish. This is about me just saying, hey, a year is a very arbitrary amount of time. I mean, and it's arbitrary and not, but the point is, from the purposes of me working on this, a year doesn't matter that much. So I'm putting it aside because I have things that I want to get done on a timeline that needs to happen. So by the end of the year, I need to have those stockings done, and I want to have Winter Queen done, so this one can wait. But the nice part is I am back to loving working on it, so when I pull it out again, I know that it's going to go really well. So back in September, when I was still working pretty heavily on Snow Bears, because that was my focus piece, after all of that sea of white, I would every so often need a palette cleanser, and in this case, it was Circles Tapestry. Here's where it was last time. And this is my little bit of progress. Really, if you see, it's this right here, and I finished the kind of this like midpoint design, like right here. I wanted the colors. I was really just enjoying this particular red. I love the colors. They just kind of a small amount, like a single length of floss. I was still getting like, it was seriously palette cleanser. Like it didn't have to be big, just a little bit, but I felt good. Also, as a side note, my sister said she wanted to see me work on this a little more, so that's for you. And I do listen. Actually, with that note, if you guys have things of mine that you're like, work more on, work less on, I can't promise that I'll listen to you. I mean, my sister is kind of super important, but I actually do appreciate insight. And if it's the, hey, you're really like kicking yourself too much over these projects, can't believe you're getting so much done, or Carol, sit down and work on stitching because you don't do enough of it, leave those comments for me below. I do read them. So, I don't know. And again, if there's, sometimes the thing is I can get tunnel vision and forget everything I have. And I don't even have that many projects. I only have 24. I think it's 24 whips right now. So, I think it's 24 in total, including planned new starts that I have discussed and not started because I need to finish the things that I say on a timeline. Yeah, I know I'm repeating myself. You'll note that's like a theme for this. But anyway, like this one it was just really exciting, and it's funny. So I haven't touched this one in a number of weeks, and then I pick it back up now for filming. I'm like, oh, this was in it. But the thing is, I remember specifically that when I was working in this area, because I had no progress plans. This one, the really nice part about it, it's not a particularly complicated piece. And I don't have any vision of when I want it to get done. It lives in kind of like the, I want it to get done. It doesn't count as a slog. I have some that are slogs. This is like the, every time I pick it up, I forget why I like it. So when I put it down, it's usually not the one that's calling to me and like being loud, but when it does, I don't know. So like I just looked at this and I was remembering how light I felt when I was stitching on it. Because again, this one is a no stress, which for me, that's winning. But yeah, I really, the other part is that having like filled in this chunk, like I'm really kind of seeing it. I love it. And I do think I'm gonna, honestly, what I wanna do is continue around here kind of matching this, and maybe fill on kind of a diagonal, so swooping down. I don't know, that's the best part. I'm just kind of going with, when I worked on this, I was like, I'm just gonna do this little motif. And then like one of the other times I was like, I'm just gonna complete this flower. And that was it, like, and it's such a reward when you do that. Next, this one was one I also haven't worked on since September, so I'm trying to remember exactly what I did. It is Long Dog Sampler's Mick the Miller. Here's where it was last time. So didn't do a lot here. Finished this dog now has a head, but I don't know how well you can see the eye, because I don't have the B5200 in there yet, but you know, he has a midsection. I say he because I've decided these are all my dog argyles, so it's fine. I guess there's no real, like, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but like I said, I've decided to view it as my dog's dog. The other two are girls, but this is him. They have white on their face, a lot more. He is mostly black, although with age, a little less black, a little more very flecked, lots of white. It's not from his age, like both of his parents had that same, like, lot of white on their faces, even when they were on the younger side. Neither here nor there. Anyway, this is my dog Argyle, and repeated 8 times, except for I'm only at, you know, the 2.5 dogs worth. But I wanted to work on this, and then I was sorting things, ran into it, realized I had really just, I was gonna put it in. So I think I did 3 lengths of DMC 310 and said, okay, that's good. So it was more of a, hey, I touched it, didn't do a lot with it, but I'm happy, it's cute, it's coming along, I should get it done. I'm not gonna put this one on the timetable because I don't need to do that to myself right now. It's not one of my videos if I'm not sharing with you a Mirabilia Designs, so Royal Holiday came out because why not? Here's where it was last time. I actually did a little bit more than I expected to. So this one ended, I went and got to hang out with my sister in New Orleans a couple weekends ago, and since I was flying, I took this as my airplane stitching. Yes, I'm the person who's stitching on the airplane. So I want to tell you that I actually definitely got a, wow, that looks amazing from one of the flight attendants. So that was pretty cool. It's always nice when strangers just think your stuff looks cool. The nice part is I decided to do a fair amount of working with my not favorite whisper. First of all, this, I hadn't flown in a year, and before that, a couple trips last year, one the year before, and then I hadn't flown since like before COVID. One of the things that really strikes me differently about flying even this year compared to 2 years ago is nobody likes to open their windows anymore. The entire cabin will be black. Doesn't matter if it is high noon. Everybody wants to see their screens, so you don't get any ambient lighting. So I'm working off of the little teeny tiny seat light and with my readers, and I could see, but I didn't want to do a lot of color changes. I wanted to make this kind of honestly as boring as possible. So the whisper was perfect. This is, I think, 3 hours worth of work, because it started, none of this right here was done, and I had some that was missing up here, but like it worked out really great because it was mindless. I wasn't really having to read the chart too closely because I had pretty much filled everything else in. It was just glance every so often, make sure I was in the right place. But beyond that, it was just doing whisper, cutting it 9 inches at a time. It is what it is, but yeah, I don't know, I'm happy with that. Also, I guess I did a little bit more of the red here and here, but it was really the primary was working on the edge of the cloak right there. But it was mostly because I just wanted to take something totally different with me traveling, so I love it. Not gonna get done this year, but this is one that I actually think I would like to try to finish for next year. I shouldn't be thinking about next year yet. Let me get through this year first. Yeah. Although, speaking of this year, I've already mentioned, is Winter Queen by Mirabilia Designs is something that I would like to finish. Here's where she was last time. And look at how she's coming along. So this, did a little bit of work, figured out something I messed up. There was a decent amount of frogging, fixing. I'm happy with it though. This, like the cloak is here. More importantly, I actually went in the beading needle. I don't know if you can see it, it's still sitting here. Worked on the crown. So this part of the crown is completely done. I just need to do the beads that are above her hair. And that would leave everything from here up done. I know, not very far, but it's like there's beading down here. I'm not getting to that point yet because I think once I finish the beading up here, I'm gonna come back and work on this. So looks great. Yes, I think I'm still on track to get this done this year. I was hoping to be faster so that I could have it like all beautifully framed and ready to go by the time I do my whip parade. It's 2 months away and I don't know that I'm gonna have this done and framed. We'll see. It's just one of those things that, yes, it's in the back of my mind, like, hey, where do I want to be so that I have a video going? It's fine. Yeah, those are the kind of things I do think and try to plan ahead, and realizing, like, for example, I'm going to do a parade somewhere around New Year's. So kind of like I had this vision. I wanted to have all these, like, my seasonal queens, and I could share all of them, like, framed. We'll see. And yes, that's one of those things that does kind of cross my mind, but it's good. I am happy with how this one's going. So fingers crossed that once I get the stockings done that I can get back and really like finish this. Because honestly, it's like about the 75% mark as far as here. This is already narrowing a lot. Then it's about this width down for, I don't remember that. I can't tell you, but it's coming along, so. Yay. Also back in September, this was probably when, like, very shortly after I filmed last time, felt like pulling out a small project. So, Heartstring Sampleries, this is one of the Sunday stitches. This is Be Thou My Vision. Here's where I was last time. And this is today. So, the cool part, the flower is done. These words are done. We're now down into the bottom half. Waking is like right along the bottom part. So I am really delighted that this one was a little bit of work, like not a lot, but I was happy that I got this much done because I need to get it done. It's such a small project, it actually feels almost wasteful that I haven't completed it yet. But again, this goes back to I need to sit and focus, and I'm not very good at that. but it is really cute. One of my favorite hymns, so it was exciting. And lastly, I mentioned that I had met up with my sister for a long weekend, and I naturally felt like I needed to work on Tintern Abbey because I was going to see her. So here's what it was last time. So I'm not going to tell you that I got a lot done, but more filling in here. So I'm still working on the sky. It's fine. Like, I didn't take this was not like a huge priority, but it was fun to pull out. More importantly, my sister brought hers with her as well, but she didn't bring any needle. She wasn't going to cross stitch. I was the one who was like cross stitching because that's what I do. But she had her Tintern Abbey with and so we got to put them next to each other and discover how crazy different even our. We're pretty sure that we had bought the same color Ada from Hobby Lobby put next to each other. They didn't look like it at all. What I do, I really liked seeing her work. It was just kind of cool to have the two projects get to hang out together. It's like we don't get to see each other in person that often, so it's the sort of thing that we kind of are doing this as like a stitch along, but it's like more of a, she gets really far ahead, sends me pictures, and I'm like, look at how far along I am, but not really. So it was just really cool getting to see like how the whole thing looks. Yeah, so I am happy about the fact that I'm almost down to the knot sky here. I have been kind of doing a vague-ish diagonal because I filled in up here, and then I was like, I don't know. I was getting kind of bogged down by doing, honestly, DMC 928 a lot. So I wanted to do something different. I want to work down here, but I don't want to leave the sky. So, because I do like to kind of from the top. It's a thing. This one, there is no way I'm going to get the next page finished by Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving might be late this year, but I know this isn't happening in the next 4 weeks. I have a stocking to do. And I easily still have 6,000 stitches left in this. 6,500 stitches. I have a lot of stitches left in here, so that's also one that I'll get caught up eventually, maybe. Or not, I'm not even sure. It's funny though, like in talking to my sister, one of the things that she'd mentioned, like, because I was doing the, you're so far ahead, why can't I catch up with you? And she pointed out she only has 4 whips. I think it's 4. She'll tell me on the phone when I get this wrong after she watches my video. But if you have less projects, it's easier to really focus on them and like just keep stitching until you burn out on that one and then just roll to the next. That's how she kind of does her rotation. But it means that she's much more likely to get to a finish, even on like a decent sized project, because she's putting all her effort in like one direction. And I kind of wish that I would do that. And then I realized I love all the ones I've started. So even the ones that I call a slog, I love them all. Like, otherwise they would be UFO'd, because honestly, I have too many awesome projects that are on like waiting to start that I can't even like waste time on the ones that I hate. So this is one though that I do love. Of all my full coverage, this is my favorite, at least for the moment. I don't know. I just really like how it's been turning out. So, and lastly, I have been trying to be good and not do a ton of shopping. I've even mostly succeeded this. However, I was in New Orleans. I hadn't been there since college, and I make a point of seeking out yarn shops, cross stitch shops, like all of that style when I go to new places. And so I popped myself into the quarter stitch, and it's mostly needlepoint, but they had a really cool selection of New Orleans themed cross stitch. And that's the thing. And they have your DMC. They do not have any of like your other specialties. Like that was the one thing I was expecting to find more, like rainbow art or rainbow thread gallery, Kreinik. I mean, any of the specialty stuff that when I have stopped into needlepoint, like they have more fibers. It makes cross stitch shops look sad. But in this case it didn't. It was really good selection of a lot. If you want Persian wool, like, wow, they have like your 3-strand Persian wool for doing, and a ton of canvases. It's just I'm not in the market for needlepoint, but they did say cross stitch on the website, so I popped in. So I found this, and I haven't taken out the plastic, so I'm sorry about the glare. This is called South Battery View, and there was a sample, and it just stitched up absolutely wonderfully. So I'm a sucker for these sort of things, so I got it. There's a companion. They did not have this piece in, and yes, usually if there's like a grouping of pieces, I'll buy all of them, even if I don't necessarily want to stitch them all. Like, my completionist tendencies are annoying, but anyway, this is like the pattern haul this is my one souvenir from going out of town this last time, and I'm really excited because I think it's adorable, and I'm really hoping that I get the opportunity to like do this next year if I get more finishes. I'm right now stuck in I can't start anything because I need to finish what I have. Yeah, I do this to myself. Those are the rules. Okay. So with that, thank you so much for having stopped by. I'm actually going to go ahead and apologize at the end of my video here for being kind of erratic on my posting schedule. I set a New Year's resolution that I was supposed to film like once a week, and I haven't done it. Like, not even close. I'm lucky to be, I think I'm at like once a month. Oh, that's I think I'm at like once a month. That is not really what I had in mind. The whole point is the more I do these, the more practice I get, the better I get, the more comfortable I get in front of the camera, and so I can share my work with you, because honestly, I do appreciate everyone who has nice things to say, even if you're the like button. Like, please hit it. The people who subscribed along the way, the people who make comments, like everybody who has reached out, I appreciate you. You're amazing, and I wish that I were a better, more consistent YouTuber, because I feel like in this case, like, I had a ton of stuff, and if I had been a little smarter along the way, I'd have more information to be like, and this is what I worked on this week, and I would actually know instead of going, I think I did blank. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know what, it's Halloween. I probably could go get some candy right now. My favorite is Reese's Cups, and I think I have some because I got the big Costco bags of chocolate, and trick-or-treating starts soon. So with that, I hope you have a great Halloween. I will see you next time.